I said, can I do it? And so that's how I happened to be part of it.
What Marlene Allen became a part of is IMPACT, the largest study ever on cognitive training with a product that's available to the public. Marlene was supposed to train just a few times a week.
I actually did it every day. They said normally you do it 5 days, but I was having such a good time I did it all 7.
Ron Roof has been an expert in the field of neuropsychology for more than 20 years. He's on the committee that oversaw the study. The study was designed to look at 3 things: whether users would get better at the tasks they were training, whether the improvements would extend into everyday life, that's known as generalization, and whether they would notice.
I thought it was an exciting study to figure out whether it works or not, because we're all trying to figure out whether indeed this type of a cognitive remediation technique will work.
Were you ever skeptical?
Yes.
Marlene was one of 524 people enrolled in the study, all of them 65 or older. The study was led by researchers from Mayo Clinic and the University of Southern California. Half of the participants were randomly assigned to watch educational DVDs, the other half to do the brain fitness program training.
Click on the bank, then click on the barbershop.
I didn't know exactly what I was hoping for, except maybe remembering things a little bit better, and that certainly was true.
The 76-year-old says that after completing the brain fitness program, she could tell a difference.
You say your memory got better.
Mm-hmm.
How do you know?
Because I didn't have to write things down all the time. I wasn't walking in the room and going, why am I here?
And it's not just the minor inconveniences. Memory is essential to nearly every aspect of life.
Without having a memory of what happens to you, you live a little bit in an island and you can't develop that history that's important and remember nice events that you shared. And if you don't have a good memory, you then start asking yourself, why should I go ahead and go to this movie? Why should I go to this theater if I can't remember it anyway? So it results in a shutdown of sorts and an isolation.
Marlene knows firsthand just how important memory is. She's an avid boater who's explored waterways all over the country. She writes for sailing magazines and has written a book. She couldn't work on her next book if she couldn't remember her past.
What I'm doing is writing from my experiences. And it's a quicker recall. It's not thinking. I come up with it, in a much faster time.
In fact, the initial study data support Marlene's claim. The results show that people who did the Posit Science Brain Fitness program have an improvement in memory on average of 10 years. What's more, their speed of processing increased by 131%, meaning they were thinking faster.
Are you skeptical now?
No, not for this sample, not for this group. I think the data is strong enough to have convinced me that it works.
Cognitive psychologist Elizabeth Zielinski is co-principal investigator on the study. As expected, the study found that people got better at the memory tasks they were training. But it didn't stop there.
You actually got improvements in several areas.
Tests also showed the memory improvements generalized into their everyday lives.
The Posit Science Brain Fitness program was effective at improving memory, especially the kinds of memory that were not directly trained. They seem to be better at remembering what they need to remember. So they might be better at remembering whether they took a certain medication today.
That it generalized to the daily activities and daily life, that was just the icing on the cake.
The study had a third important finding. People noticed the improvement and reported feeling better in their daily lives.
I found myself being more active, period. In my writing, wanting to exercise more. It was just, I was just more alive.
Ideally, what this will do is to keep us as sharp and as long as possible as we can be sharp. I think aging will have a higher quality.
You have to keep your brain going. That is really the key to everything.
Thanks to the Brain Fitness program, Marlene Allen plans to keep her brain going for a long time to come. After all, she and her husband Bob still have a lot of territory to explore.